Its clout in the Indian subcontinent countries seems to be growing. We're seeing it demonstrated in Pakistan as well. Nepal's newly elected Prime Minister KP Oli has said he wants to deepen ties with China to explore more options and get more leverage in his dealings with India. The new Prime Minister is widely regarded as pro-China. Mr. Oli's comments came during an interview to Hong Kong South China Morning Post. He told the newspaper that he wants to quote-unquote update relations with India in keeping with the times and favors a review of all special provisions of the Indo-Nepal relations, including the long-established practice of Nepalese soldiers serving in India's armed forces. He said, and I quote, "We have great connectivity with India and an open border. All that's fine. And we'll increase connectivity even further. But we can't forget that we have two neighbors. We don't want to depend on one country or have one option." End quote. He's gone on to talk about the long-standing tradition of the Nepalese serving in the Indian Army and said, I quote again, "This should be internally and mutually discussed and corrected. If necessary, we live in a new world and Nepal is starting a new journey. We have to update whatever is considered outdated and bring it in line with the modern era." End quote. Not just that, the Nepalese Prime Minister has also vowed to revive the China-backed $2.5 billion hydropower project, which was scrapped by the previous government. In fact, it was Mr. Oli who had planned the project during his first stint as Prime Minister to end landlocked Nepal's dependence on India. Lastly, the Nepalese Prime Minister made a comment on infrastructure development, which he sees as an important means to narrow the distance with China. The South China Morning Post points out that China's physical remoteness compared with next-door India is a hindrance to deeper Sino-Nepal relations. He also spoke about improving rail and road networks between Nepal and China through Tibet. Specifically, he referred to 3 roads that are under construction connecting China and Nepal, which should be ready in a couple of years, saying, I quote, "If we can connect this railway network to our east-west rail project, it can revolutionize China-India trade with Nepal in the middle." End quote. China has been investing heavily in Nepal, blunting India's influence in the Himalayan region. Himalayan country. Before KP Oli's inauguration as the Prime Minister for the second time, India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj had visited Nepal and met him and other left leaders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke with him over the phone.